You. Hey guys, how do I sound? Um, I'm so pissed. I don't know why every time I stream, it's like extra freezing in my house, and the chicken is gobbling up a storm at damn near almost. Oh, it's 8:36 and the chicken is still going. I can't even handle it. And yo, guys, I've got to tell you, anytime ever, if I'm ever feeling down or anything like that, do you know what clip I always watch? And it cheers me up almost 100% of the time. Do you know that Alex Jones clip where he talks about he'll eat his neighbors and he screams about, "You think I like sizing up my neighbors? I'll eat your ass." No matter what kind of mood I'm in, that will always cheer me up, always make me smile. Uh-oh, what is this? Hold on a second, guys. Whoa, wait a second. Hold on. Oh, I'm not used to this. And oh my god, this confused the hell out of me. Somebody just donated to the Venmo. I didn't even tell you guys. I'm so fucking fed up. Please do not donate to PayPal at all. Do not donate to it. These motherfuckers have found another loophole to exploit. And right now, my Angry Pistachio PayPal account is in the negative because they found a brand new way to dispute the charges that they've made over time. So I added Venmo as an option. I think depending on how this goes and depending on what PayPal says and what they're capable of doing for me, I may have to drop PayPal altogether. Yeah, no. It's not on my computer. It's on my phone. I had never used Venmo before, and thank you so much to the person who just donated. It genuinely, it scared me. Especially another thing too. I don't know if I should tell you this, but I'm going to anyway. With the PayPal, aside from the constant disputes, somebody has been actively trying to hack into my PayPal account. So it feels like they're attacking me, and it feels like they're trying to attack me on any level that they can. But thank God, and this is why I have been singing Cash App's praises from the moment that I started using it. Cash App has so many different levels of protection in place where these loopholes just don't exist. Now, I'm not familiar with Venmo. I guess we'll see what happens. But what I've read, like looking it up, it seems as though Venmo does not have these loopholes to exploit either. It's just fucked up. It's like, is this a price that you pay for simply telling the truth? For simply calling out hypocrisy? It's so fucking ridiculous. And I know the goal is to make me so fed up that I'm like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this anymore." I'm That's not the way that I work. You know what I mean? The more that you try to silence me, the more that it emboldens my fucking message. Like, I'm sorry to say. Kayla says, "Dude, that's so fucked up." So the person who was donating to you decided to take it all back? Yes, and what's so crazy is they're using several different accounts. And what they do is they donate over time and then they dispute all of the charges all at once. And I don't know why the fuck PayPal works this way. But depending on certain things, I don't want to give too many details because I don't want to give anybody who doesn't know about these loopholes, I don't want to give them any ideas, but they're exploiting a loophole where the moment that you dispute something, they they what's the word? Begins with a T. They tentatively, PayPal tentatively sides in favor of the person who's disputing the charge. And then if things go the way that I hope they do, it takes fucking forever to sort it out and to it's a whole fucked up thing. It's a whole fucked up thing, and the intention obviously is to cripple the PayPal account. I've made the mistake. I've made the huge mistake of making mention in passing in stream that I sometimes use my PayPal account for personal bills that I pay as well. I think that's the goal, to try and fuck me over with that. The timing's very interesting as to when they dispute these charges as well. It's all very purposeful, it seems. See, I can't know that for sure, Rio. Rio says they donated with the specific intention of chargebacks later. I can't know that for sure. Although, because of the way these particular charges were disputed, because it was a new way, this is what they did. They disputed a very small charge first. So it was like something like $2.35. And then they disputed a larger charge that was $100. And another thing that I've got to tell you is that not all, but most of these charges that end up being disputed, these are people that are sending these donations while I'm not live. So they're sending it like hours after a live stream the next morning, stuff like that. It all seems and feels very on purpose. But I can't know if that was the intention from Jump Street, but it sure does look that way. I'll tell you that. Anyway, let's get into the situation. Do you want to know? I have been trying to find, because like, yo, what? I've been trying to find the clip where Yaba out of nowhere brings up Ilona for no reason, just to try and find and see the context that made her bring her up again out of nowhere. Like, and I couldn't find it. I skimmed through her entire last live stream, the one from 8 hours ago, couldn't find it. Maybe I didn't look good enough. Do you guys know, is that the live stream where she mentioned it? I just think it's so very interesting and so very telling that Alona is moving on with her fucking life, with her content. She's not mentioned Yaba since the last weird verbal altercation that they had. And it's very telling to me that Yaba just comes out of nowhere and says the most ridiculous shit anyway. How are you going to say that Ilona looks or seems like she's dying? Like, oi, I want to see the context of that. Like, was she joking? She had to have been joking. But what brought it up? Did somebody ask a question? Did somebody else bring it up? I have no idea. Does anybody know? Um, let's see. So much shit has happened since. And yo, look at this, guys. I can't believe I was so tricked by this. I knew that this couldn't be real. But God, I gotta turn this down. But look at this. Look at the feet and the way it splays the toes. Like, that's human feet. And I was like, I was so confused, knew it was fake. But Hater Tater, thank God, commented underneath and was like, that's a cat laying on somebody's stomach. And that's the human's feet, I guess, wearing socks. I don't know. It creeped me out. Creeped me out so bad. What else? And yo, what is this? Have you guys seen this? I can't believe, like, yo, I told Gaining Ground, it's such a good thing that he was not sharing these DMs with me at the time of what him and FFG were talking about together once she fake fucking apologized to him. In these DMs that he has shared, she is licking his fucking ass so hard and so inauthentically. And seriously, I need to know, what is her beef with Charlie Gold? Where did that hate boner come from? Like, we all know it has nothing to do with hypocrisy. Charlie Gold is, especially compared to this space, I've said it so many times, what this space has become. Charlie was a fucking saint in comparison. What fucking beef could she have with Charlie other than she still has the largest sub count in the space and is still, for the most part, genuinely liked by the people that watch her, and no matter how long she goes away from the internet, she has loyal fans that continue to stay. Like, yikes. Oh, Sam, thank you for reminding me. I'll do it right now. Let me go to the YouTube page. Where is my YouTube page? Okay, here we go. Thank you, Sama. I'm pinning it right now. Pinned. And I feel like I didn't thank that person. Thank you so much. I don't know if I should share your name, probably not. But thank you so much to the person who donated um on the Venmo. It's very interesting to see how this works and how it comes up. It comes up as a text message instead of an email. I almost thought it was like another fraudulent fucking thing. Um, Shadow Harris says, when Yaba uses the voice changer, she's acting as a character. Chantel's stomach or some shit. Are you saying that's what she did when she was talking about Ilona? Can anybody point me in the direction of which stream she said it in? Her last live stream, I skimmed through the entire fucking thing, just really trying to dig for context, like what made her say it, etc. Mandolin Effect says, do you care to comment on Russ making up a story about getting someone pregnant? He's so dumb, it's pathetic. In terms of Russ, if you watched my live stream where we talked about the things he did recently, I'm not going to give him any attention publicly. Like, if he ever needs advice or anything like that, I'm always there for him in DMs. But as far as publicly, I'm not going to comment on him. I'm not going to give him the negative attention that he so obviously thrives on. And I have tried. Like, you can't kind somebody into changing. I have tried so hard from the moment that I began being friendly with Russ. I really tried to convince him that he doesn't need to lie to get people to like him, that he is good enough on his own. And, fantastical stories are just not necessary. I wish he had I wish he had the confidence within himself to know that that's the truth. You don't have to tell lies, bro. People were supporting you. People genuinely enjoyed you. It's just a sad situation. It's very sad. And hey, Eric, I see you. And yo, did you guys, like, I don't know how many of you were there watching my Boogie coverage of that whole situation, but I can't I can't believe that it's even being entertained that he's going to remain on that show in any capacity, because it genuinely teaches him, it reinforces that he, at the end of the day, benefits from telling egregious, harmful lies, such as lying about cancer. He needs to be cut off 100%. This needs to be the lesson, like the lesson that he learns. But it's so unfortunate. I can't look upon it anymore because I'm so disgusted. He got fired, Lynn the Cinecunt, and I'm actually even shocked that Keem did that. Keem is trying really hard, it seems, to be a good friend, to be a supportive friend. It seems like he has a lot of sympathy for him, a lot of pity, maybe is a better word. But you can tell by the way Keem is talking about the future that he is desperately trying to, he hopes that he can convince the audience that there's going to be some possibility for redemption. You can tell. You ain't got to lie to kick it. But do you know what I mean, Linda Cinecun? Have you watched it? Have you listened to how Keem is talking about it? He's genuine. It seems as though he's genuinely hoping that the audience is going to have a change of heart, and they're never good. They're never gonna. Like, as much as I criticize Destiny and his fucked opinions about the Trump situation, he was absolutely the voice of reason on that last live stream. He eviscerated Boogie. Like, he came in and said all of the things that needed to be said. I was so disturbed when Boogie was trying to manipulate and brown nosed Destiny like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and you can fact check that for me." And I was so happy that Destiny immediately called it out and was having no part of it, like respect. Cuz nobody else was holding him that severely like in his place the way they needed to. Destiny was genuinely the voice of fucking reason. Eric says he was fired, but Keem says he has to redeem himself to come back. Yeah, you see that's what I mean. To me, that's not firing somebody. That is a tentative appearance of firing for, you know, optics. That's what it seems like to me. But in Keem's defense, I think it comes from a genuinely good place. I think Keem and oh my God, Boogie had the fucking audacity. I'm sure none of us are surprised that he fucking self-delete baited. And he actually even brought out a fucking knife and was waving it around. I was proud of Keem that Keem wasn't even entertaining it. He just left the call. He just left the call. He was like, "Yup, not doing this. Bye." Yo, that's another thing. Mandolin effect. I was so happy. Do you remember what Destiny said in passing? He just said it off the cuff. He was like, "Yeah, and your girlfriend, that child that you're holding hostage or that you've abducted," something to that effect. But it was so funny and it was so accurate. And then Boogie got on his fucking high horse, acting like no one's gonna call her a child. She's a fucking child. If not by number, by fucking demeanor. And you selected her on purpose with purpose. Hey Belinda, is that the are you giving me the link for the context I was asking for Belinda? I mean, fuck. Dude, do you know I always do that? I always mix up your names. I'm so sorry, Belinda. Please forgive me. But is that the link? Okay, let's watch it. I've been so curious and nobody has answered me, not on Twitter, not in fucking chat. Nobody is rushing to answer the context for what made Yaba say that about Ilona out of nowhere. I don't know if I said this yet, but you know what it seems like to me? It seems like definitely Ilona was a little too fucking accurate with her guess about Yaba's weight. And I think Yaba's fucking embarrassed. I think Yaba is angry. And I think Ilona is doing little fucking jumping jacks in her mind, just living rent free all day and all night as a result of it. All right, let's cue up this linky poo. Let me unshare the Twitters. And I can't wait to see like what prompted it. A fucking comment from chat. Where is Yo, guys, guess what I'm drinking today? You're gonna be so shocked. I'm drinking fucking I thought it was Fago. It's not Fago. I'm drinking Stars and Stripes lemon lime knockoff fucking Sprite wannabe. I genuinely thought it was Fago for a moment. It's not great, I've got to tell you. All right, hold on. Let me find this link. All right, I love this stuff. Yo, the Aussie Moist hair care stuff is so good. Yeah, right? Amber Chick said that 370 comment cut deep. Obviously, right? Belinda says it's okay to be a fat. Wait. It's okay to be fat. It's not okay to be a lying sack of dog shit. Yes. Yo, I thought it was Fago, but it's not. I got it from the dollar store. I was so thirsty and I was like, whatever. They have such shitty selection. Anyway, let's get to the clip. Let me not go on a fucking tirade about Fago. Yo, I am not a fan of flavors like that when it comes to soda, like sickeningly sweet that make your jaw hurt. Do you know what I mean by that? Have you ever tried something so sweet that you get that weird fucked up twinge in your jaw? Genuinely not a fucking fan of that shit. Jennifer H says, but she acts all incensed, like she's not also obese. Yeah, dude, that's the problem. That's the point. It has always fucked me up to such, it's so crazy to me that you, Bigums fucking McGee, you should understand Chantel's plight better than anybody, yet you hate her the most. That's why it always translates to me as fucking veiled self-hatred, obviously. All right, let me share this. I keep going on tangents. My bad. All right. Foodie manipulates the fuck out of her. I'm assuming that's the one. Yes. And what's the timestamp? You said it's at hour 2 of 3 or around there. Yeah, yo, the 3-minute miracle stuff is amazing. Although I don't know if you've had this problem, but it can give me like disgusting acne on my back if I use it for too many days in a row. So that's the only downside, but it does wonders for my thick fucking hay hair. 1 hour, 2 minutes, something like that. Okay, thank you so much. I could not find it. And I scrolled through the whole fucking thing at least twice. Hold on. I'm going to pause for a second. I want to take a sip of my Faygo. Hold on. You know what I really wanted? I really wanted the cherry 7-Up, but they didn't have it. Anyway, hey, Gaining Ground. Back needs the worst. Yes. And it can be painful if you get it in the wrong spot. Me, oh my. All right, let's 1 hour, 2-minute-ish. Ooh, let's see it.
That's about it. Too much effort, too much work. She can't be bothered.
I'm gonna go back a little bit just in case.
I love the terrible Taco Bell. I know.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
why
people
isn't
don't
it
scare me
letting
when they say like
me?
you should see how it's made. So what? It tastes good. The end result.
Why isn't it letting me go back with my buttons, yo? What the fuck is this? What happened?
Wait,
Can you
Here we go.
watch
What's made?
too much
Spicy quality.
takeout menus are? Well, that's
Because I was busy. I should keep myself here. Rest crap. You know? No, I didn't order out earlier.
you're still not selling me on
Not
plate,
yet.
Chantel.
Still not
I
yet,
don't
Rio.
care how good the chicken is at the Taco Bell, girl.
Her funny voice?
Taco Bell isn't. It's not spicy. That they call that hot.
Oh, by her funny voice, do you mean her cringe fucking voice that she definitely stole from some 90s cartoon character? Because she's a fucking thief and a forever perpetual sidekick. Yep.
Sauce. My tongue is barely a tickling. No, I don't. I test my blood sugar in the morning, and that's about it.
That's about it. Too much effort, too much work. She can't be bothered.
I love the terrible Taco Bell. I know. Yeah, people don't scare me when they say like you should see how it's made. So what?
I'm
It tastes good,
assuming
the
it's
end result.
coming. I'm assuming it's coming because I know Ilona made mention of Taco Bell, so hopefully it's coming soon.
Can you go gunt over to the couch so we can watch you eat while you lay down?
It's different from Western spicy, maybe. Yeah, I hate picking my finger. I don't like it. I always go. No,
What?
stare at Chipolo. No, I
What's she
haven't.
talking about?
I am French Canadian. Yeah. I just had Taco Bell for dinner. Is this the bag? Reddit bag? I don't want to have a hoarding table. Oh.
Come on. Did I miss it, guys? Or is it still coming? Do you see what I'm saying? I myself had such a hard time finding the Ilona clip. Are you sure it's coming? We didn't miss it yet?
Wow.
There's actually like
That's impressive coming from you,
Yes.
Chantel.
a bowl of garlic on the table for some reason.
Hey,
No, Yaba has admitted that she low-key fucking enjoys watching Chantel eat and that she feels jealousy and envy because of how Chantel allows herself to indulge the way that she does. Yaba has absolutely admitted this in so many different ways. And it's like, yeah, we know. We always knew.
ain't she sweet? Good to see you, hun.
I want no more pasta. Pasta for me. I don't know. don't think I'll ever be able to eliminate fast food.
That's right.
thought of
We
eating-
sure won't. You get that nasty,
Here we go.
disgusting thought right out of your head. Why would we ever eliminate fast food? It's the only thing that brings us actual happiness. And you want to
Oh, stop it. You know I can't stand this. You know Yaba could never eliminate fast food. Not for herself and not for the ease of feeding her children. Like, be fucking for real, man. I can't stand these people who act high and mighty when they struggle exactly the fucking same. Like, how dare you?
even think about eliminating fast food out of your diet. Never going to happen.
Completely healthy all the time depresses me to a level where I just don't even want to deal. I would rather not even like.
And yo, is that supposed to be like a God voiceover? That would be too funny and clever. Somebody said in chat it's Gunther. Or is that meant to be like God? It'd be funny if it was meant to be God speaking from above.
To live a life eating only healthy food, I don't want to do it.
It's insane. It's absolutely insanity. You're right. I'm so glad we agree.
Like, I don't want to live my life that way. I don't know. I know that sounds bad, but
No, it's fine. That's a choice. Everybody has a choice. Everybody can do what they want and do what makes them happy. What makes us happy is eating. I don't know why people feel the need to judge us, talk about our health, like they don't have health issues. Okay? I mean, take Chikara transformations.
Here we go.
For example, fit queen, right? Trust me. Trust in
All right, so I have a little bit of my context that I was after. Nobody brought her up. This was just off the cuff. Yaba, like I said, fucking Ilona is running around constantly in Yaba's mind after probably accurately guessing her fucking weight. She's so angry and embarrassed, and how dare you? Like, this is so telling.
Believe me, of all people, that woman is just a day away from death. Don't believe me? Go take a look for yourselves, all right? Christical Adventures, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you, hon. These people think because they're skinny, like they can't have heart attacks, like they can't have diabetes. They sure can. They're just
Of course they can. Anybody can. But your risk is severely fucking elevated if you're carrying hundreds upon hundreds of extra tonnage, bro. Like, who is she trying to fucking lie to right now?
haters. Haters, jealous haters.
I don't want to eat only unhealthy food all the time either, though.
And yo, isn't it funny? Choo Choo says, when I was a part of that group, I loved the God/Gunther voice. This was actually funny shit. Isn't it funny how something that we once found entertaining or funny, isn't it interesting how once we no longer support this person and we've seen their true colors, how you cringe instead of like laughing? You're not even capable of laughing anymore. It's like all has revealed itself. It just becomes so cringy and so hypocritical and so ridiculous. It's so interesting how things can change so severely once somebody's mask fucking falls all the way off.
I want to eat like a mix, you know? Melly, you're happy? After a certain amount of years of marriage, that does happen, doesn't it?
Yes. See, that would actually be interesting. That has the potential to actually be funny. Sylvail says, I'd love it if she did a voiceover for her conscience. It would be so silent. No, but it could be potentially funny if she did this voiceover and was playing as Chantel's conscience, or as, like, you know, omnipotent God, and was, you know, judging her from up above. This is why I do not think she's funny. I don't think she's talented. I don't think she's entertaining. Because she always misses the mark. It's unfortunate for her. And it's also so crazy what people will find entertaining and what they'll accept just because you all hate the same person. Like, her audience has genuinely tricked themselves into thinking she's the funniest fucking thing going. It's not hard to be funny if you're being mean. Anybody can be funny if you're being mean. That's not a fucking talent. You're just an asshole.
Yeah, it is depressing. I don't know.
Me?
So,
Did I? I don't think I did. Hold on, I'll go back.
Well, thank you.
sounds bad.
I'm so glad we agree. Saying and you ever eliminate fast food. It's the only thing that brings us actual happiness. And you want to even think about
all the time depresses me. Food, I don't want to do it.
agree.
Like, I don't want to live my life that way. I don't know. I know that sounds bad, but
No, it's fine. That's a choice. Everybody has a choice. Everybody can do what they want and do what makes them happy. What makes us happy is eating. I don't know why people feel the need to judge us, talk about our health, like they don't have health issues, okay? I mean, take Chikaras transformations.
Here we go.
For example, fit queen, right? Trust me. Trust and believe me of all people, that woman is just a day away from death. Don't believe me? Go take a look for yourselves, all right? Christical Adventures, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you,
I
hon.
really, does she elaborate on how and why Ilona is allegedly so close to death? She's so, this is, this is also something I really hate about fat people. They look upon anybody who is healthfully skinny and they're like, oh, they look sick. No, you're just used to people who carry fucking hundreds of extra fucking tonnage around so that when you see somebody who's actually slim in a healthy way, you perceive them as unhealthy because you are so fucking unhealthy.
These people think because they're skinny, like they can't have heart attacks, like they can't have diabetes. They sure can.
And no, I didn't miss this. I remember commenting on this exact part. I just went off into a tangent because of what Yaba was talking about with the fast food and her absolute obvious fucking hypocrisy with it.
Haters. Haters, jealous haters.
I don't want to eat only unhealthy food all the time either, though. I want to eat like a mix, you know?
Yo, isn't that so interesting as well? Choo Choo says, what's really interesting to me is that Yaba's read/intuitive thoughts and predictions on Chantel are always wrong. Like if Yaba predicts some shit, no one believe it'll be the opposite. Do you want to know why that is? Because she's a fucking simpleton. And because she is not doing commentary from a place of honesty or honest critique. She is trying to be as mean and as vitriolic as she possibly can. So of course her predictions are not going to fucking come true when you are purposely skewing them the most negative that you're capable of. I've always noticed that as well. It's one of the biggest things that I have no respect for her. I have not found not one fucking instance where Yaba is critiquing, commenting, giving an opinion in a fair and fucking balanced manner in regards to Chantel. She just refuses, like on principle, because she knows her audience wants nothing to do with that. Hate it. I hate everybody.
Melly, you're happy? After a certain amount of years of marriage, that does happen, doesn't it? Yeah, it is depressing. I don't know. So,
yo, you know what's crazy too? I saw on Twitter that Yaba found an old picture of Belinda that she had posted, I think a couple years ago or whatever. And she tweeted and was like, oh my God, I didn't know Belinda was this fucking enormous. Like, what the fuck eyes are you looking at Belinda with, bitch? Like, are you kidding? Sitting at your fucking enorm 370? To me, my eyes, even that's an unflattering shot of Belinda. If I had to guess, I would guess that Belinda in that shot is closer to the 250 range. Nowhere, like you're 100 pounds off from your own fucking body mass. Yet again, you're going to sit there and hypocritically fucking talk shit. How dare you? It's always protection. Rio says, I want Ilona to guess my weight. Does she have a cameo? I think she does. If she doesn't have a cameo, I'm pretty sure she offers some service where you can do that. Yeah, dude, it was a really bad fucking angle, Belinda. And tell me, am I close? I would imagine, seriously, I'm not just saying this to be kind, because 250 is still obese, but I would imagine that at the time of that photo that you were close to 250. And her coming at you at a fucking 370 talking shit? Like, nay, bitch. Nay, shut it up. Shut it right up. Shut it quickly. Yeah, you may have been a big bitch, but somebody as huge as Yaba doesn't get to say that to you. in comparison, like, can you imagine if Yaba was blessed by the good Lord to wake up at your weight, she would praise God for making her lose 100 pounds overnight. Like, somebody in that predicament doesn't get to call you or anybody fucking smaller than themselves fucking whatever the fuck it is she said. Like, yuck and yikes. How do people support it? How is she not so fucking embarrassed? I don't know. I don't know. Chuchu says she laughs at her being a 22. Yaba has a body type where she's Chantel on top and got literally no ass and skinny legs, like the heart attack body package. I don't know if I agree with that. What I've seen, she has like meaty, like I've said this before, there's no distinction between calf and ankle. She has really meaty fucking straight leg where there's no ankle to distinguish. It's just straight fucking meat. Meat and Michelin man. You feel me? So I would say that FFG has more of that body type that you described, but not Yaba. Yaba has kanks, B. She is kanks and fucking thickery.
I'm getting kind of tired. Can we go lay down, please? Just take the live stream with us to the
Body
couch.
like
I'm
a
I'm
backhoe.
exhausted.
That's the song.
Looking at the menu is hard work.
Yeah.
Is she done bringing up Ilona? And it's so, you know what's fucked up too? It's so obviously a cry for Ilona's attention. I would imagine that it is that she desperately wants the back and forth because Ilona is a more successful, more respectable channel, which it's like, why? That's such a fucking mistake. And what's fucked up is if she could have, gotten her fucking big girl pants on and not acted like a petulant, fat fucking child. Alona's always been pretty kind to her, has always been pretty supportive and pretty fucking fair to Yaba. But Yaba just couldn't fucking contain herself. She couldn't just laugh it off. Like, I've said this before, but isn't this how you would play it as an adult? If I was in Yaba's position and Ilona said what she said, I'd get on stream and I'd be like, yo, oh my God, Ilona, how could you? You hurt my feelings so bad. 370? Bitch, I look 370? Like, how much of a different, how differently would you perceive that reaction from Yaba? She could have taken it in stride. She could have acted like a fucking adult about it. But of course, she's incapable. So again, now she finds herself another fucking adversary on the internet. Opal says, fair isn't good enough for Yaba. Blind, undying loyalty only. Yeah, that's so sick to me, dude. I don't understand how anybody would want that. It's not real. I don't want things. I don't trust things. I don't value things that aren't real. I don't value a friendship. I don't value support that is only thrown my way out of fucking fear or out of want to fit in with the popular fucking opinion. I don't respect that. I don't value that. I don't know how anybody does. Juju says she's only capable of being on the delivery end, thin-skinned as fuck. Yes, this is why. And this is a reoccurring theme for almost all of the reaction channels. None of them, like they'll all dish it out. And I think for a long time they were comfortable. They got really comfortable in discussing Chantel and Amber Lynn, who are universally disliked. So from Jump Street, they weren't going to get a lot of pushback. And I think they all got really fucking comfortable with that fact. And instead of growing as YouTubers and as people and as adults and learning over time how to vibe and how to take criticism, their skin has become thinner than it was in the first place. And they themselves have become the cows that they criticize every day. It's insanity to me. Rendall says, Yaba isn't mentally mature at all. I mean, we know that. She's not mentally mature. She's also not educated. And sometimes I wonder to myself, like, is there a correlation Like causation, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Does one have something to do with the other? Sometimes I think yes. Sylvia says she doesn't want real because she doesn't believe it herself. She'll take fake any day because that's where she lives mentally. That's so sad. And I know that you're right. You're absolutely correct. That is so fucking sad, man. Ay, ay. Silvana says her skin is the only thing her skin is the only thin thing on Yaba. I mean, of course. And it seems as though she's fucking proud of it too. Jennifer H says, once Chantel got boring, the infighting really took off. But what do you mean by infighting? In terms of what? Like, I don't know. I don't even deem what goes on here infighting. Like what I do specifically and what I've always done is I call out hypocrisy and lies and inconsistencies. And in terms of infighting, what I see that as, like in terms of the way she turned on Belinda, I don't even see that as infighting. I see that as it was going to happen no matter what. It was an inevitable fucking end to the, in heavy quotation marks, friendship. I don't even see it as infighting. I just see it as more evidence of Yaba's thin fucking skinnery. She can't handle it. She can't hang. And this is why I can't wait. Like, do you see how many different smaller channels she has cozied up to that have really bad reputations themselves? She doesn't give a fuck. She's happy to use that to her benefit and to use them and to weaponize them against her own online adversaries. But where was I going with that? I forgot where I was going with that. My bad, guys. Oops. Sylvia says reactor cannibalism. That's always happened between the hate mobs. Yes. And with Yaba specifically and FFG, it seems as well. It's like they don't want to share the space. They don't want to, you can be below them. As long as you're making less money than them, you have less influence than them, you have less viewership, then it's all good money. But the moment that somebody grows where they can actually rival her own money making or audience numbers or anything like that, they become a fucking, like it becomes a war. It becomes a war and they're an enemy by association, period. Because she refuses to share the space, the spotlight, so to speak. And you know, something about Charlie that I've always respected. Charlie, she, at the time, I believed she had nefarious means for why she did it. But better to be Charlie than to be Yaba. But Charlie never had she never had a problem sharing the spotlight. She was always really big on shouting out smaller channels. She was always big on, we can do this together. There's enough room for everybody. It's just crazy how much when I look back in, like with hindsight being 2020 now, how much Charlie was an absolute fucking saint in comparison. But I knew that this was going to happen. Like I predicted this I knew that people were going to take Charlie's success and that they were going to learn that the nastier you are, the more success that means. So I knew that the day was coming that somebody was just going to come on the scene and be as nasty as they could. And that's who FFG has been. She filled that role. And Yaba got even nastier than she was in the first place to try and compete with FFG. It's been such a clusterfuck where they all influence each other. Nobody has a fucking mind of their own. Nobody stands for anything. And do you know that's the most interesting part? Like, I know people always give me a hard time and say that I talk about morality too much. But do you know how fucking crazy that is? What is every reaction channel criticizing Chantel for? It's always calling her immoral in so many fucking words. They just don't use the word morality to describe it. But that's exactly what it is. And that's why it's so hypocritical, because they're some of the most immoral fucking people I've ever seen on the internet, period. everything they ever come at Chantel for, it's always she's a terrible person, she's immoral, she's evil. It's always a morality fucking, it's always a morality debate. It's always a morality fucking weapon. Like, do people realize that? Jennifer H says, yeah, maybe I missed the mark. I didn't mean Yaba, Sam. They have become cows in their own right. Oh, I don't know what you mean. Did I read your comment that you're talking about? My bad. Sylvail says, FFG has hate campaigns against so many people, all except Yaba, funnily enough. You know why? Because, and she has the power. It's always surprised me that FFG has decided to have some type of weird truce with Yaba, because she definitely has the power to annihilate her in terms of the space, in terms of audience, in terms of entertainment, in terms of money making. She definitely has the capability to annihilate her. And it has been a kind and uncharacteristically unselfish choice that FFG has not chosen to go that fucking route. And I always wonder why. Maybe she just doesn't want the hassle. I don't fucking know. Sylvail says, heavy implication is the tool of the day against anyone not bound to FFG or Yaba. They imply GG is a pred or PDF with no proof whatsoever and get away with it because no one dares ask for evidence. And when they do provide evidence, the evidence that they provide tells the exact opposite of the fucking narrative that they're trying to perpetuate. It's fucking unbelievable to me. Like, you are definitely in a cult when you can see something right before your fucking eyes and still nod your head and go along with the community story instead of, making up your own mind on your own. Like, for instance, anybody who reads the back and forth and won't admit that Gaining Ground was definitely the victim in that situation, like, you're just being fucking dishonest because you dislike him. Like, you're a fucking infant, you're an asshole, I can't stand people like you. You make this world a more terrible place every day you're in it. Listen to Your Heart says, I think we reacted to Charlie Gold equally to what she would be outraged about. We always reacted accordingly. Yaba and Sam are obviously way worse. Yes, they are so much fucking worse. They are so much fucking worse. Like, yes, Charlie engaged in some of the tactics. She was really keen to weaponize race, which really was so disgusting and damaging in the long term. But in comparison to what these people are willing to fucking do, she was a goddamn fucking saint. Like, absolutely. And kudos to her. Something that Charlie has always done that none of these people have ever been willing to do is she routinely will go away, take breaks from the internet, and then obviously is working on herself. And she's come back several times, lighter than she was when she left. Like, that's respectable. At least she's fucking trying. At least she's fucking trying. That's way more than we can say for these fucking pigs. I Blame You says, during the Charlie era, I don't recall heavy doses of doxing. Not heavy doses of doxing. The only one that I can remember specifically is when the Charlie and the Callie situation, where Gaining Ground accidentally kind of doxed himself on his Instagram by not scribbling out in bold enough, like dark enough scribble. And instead of notifying him, like, hey, protect yourself, your address is on your public Instagram, instead of notifying him like a good person would, they held on to it and they doxed him when it was to their benefit. And Charlie allowed the fucking whole world to blame Callie instead. So she is not innocent by any fucking means. But I'm just saying, in comparison to what we've been dealing with here, Charlie had self-respect. She had a line in the sand that she wasn't willing to cross. When we were dealing with Charlie, we were dealing with a fucking adult. Do you know what I mean? We were dealing with a fucking grown adult woman. I do not get that sense with who we've been dealing with lately. Yick. Eric says there was a time where the stars were aligned and there was no fighting amongst channels. Everyone did their thing. It wasn't until channels started falling apart from within and it came out. No, do you want to know what genuinely began it? When you're doing commentary, when your entire YouTube channel is consistent of calling out other people for their immoral, hypocritical, dishonest behavior, you have to know that the light is going to be shined in your direction eventually. The real reason why the infighting began is because these channels were incapable and unwilling to handle their own criticism in a fucking productive manner. Do you know, none of that shit would have lasted. None of that shit would have gone on for as long as it did if Charlie specifically would have acted different about it. If she would have just been like, you know what? I am a hypocrite. I should probably work on having a little bit more compassion for these women who struggle the same as me. I'm doing everything in my power to change it. Like if she and what's fucked up and why I personally it felt so fraudulent is because that's the person she portrayed herself to be for so long. So when I personally criticized her the first time when nobody else was, I genuinely I expected a reaction of the person that she had portrayed herself to be. I expected her to be open to it and not take it as a personal fucking attack the way that she did. You know what I mean? It's becoming very clear to me that it seems as though these people, they choose the type of channel that they do. I think because they have such a problem taking criticism themselves. They've chosen the topics in these universally disliked women on purpose because they can't handle criticism themselves. It is a safe option in that you're not going to get a lot of pushback. And it is almost guaranteed money-making scheme as long as you're willing to be unfair, dishonest, and fucking vitriolic in Chantel and Amberlynn's direction. Do you know who we need to cover that I have hesitated and I haven't even watched on my own at all? I think together we need to really take a look at Karina Kaboom. I've heard just like on the periphery that she is one of the most inflammatory and one of the most unfair commentary channels that cover these women. We really need to cover her together. We need to watch her together and decide together. She's another one. I can't wait to see how she takes the fucking criticism. I'm sure she'll do it with grace and fucking with grace and I don't even know another word. I did not forget about her because she's doing really well with this content. She's doing really, really well. Her channel almost blew up doing fat girl hate fucking content. And she's real nasty. She always has been. Like, even when she was talking fucking nail polishes, bro. Like, how are you going to be fucking nasty, fucking vitriolic, and toxic when you're talking nail polies, bitch? Like, that's a fucking feat, if you ask me. Yeesh. Opal says, oh, geez, she fucking sucks. LL, same thing every video. Yee. Eric says she focused a lot on Amber. I want to get reacquainted with Amber. It's so unfortunate. It seems as though Amber's back to her old fucking tricks. She's the same fucking Amber she's always been. It's so unfortunate. There was a time where I really hoped and I prayed for her because I thought she was genuinely capable of doing better. I really hoped that she was going to get herself out of the lol cow status. I genuinely thought she was capable of it, but I think she's comfortable and I think she's just now like wallowing in it. It's always the same shit, different day. Mandolin Effect said, what in the world could your sister have said that was so bad that she lost her channel? She seemed nice. She was nice. And the truth is she doesn't know to this very day. And the truth is, I know a lot of people, they'll say, and they'll use the example that she lost her channel as the example that she was so nasty. She was maybe one of the kindest in terms of how she treated Amberlynn, but she was a bit heavy in terms of talking about her body. So that could have done it. Although, you know what I think actually did it? Because the video that the last video that she made when the channel was taken down, I think she made a joke about I think she made a joke about Amberlynn and Becky fighting and rolling around in pudding on a fucking mattress cover. And I think she was a little bit too bold with her jokes and her language. And if somebody was being dishonest, they could perceive that as her promoting violence. I genuinely think that's what did it. I genuinely think that that's what did. And you know what's fucked up too that not a lot of people know? Like she was mean in the sense like talking about her body, but she was kind in terms of being understanding and always thinking that Amberlynn could do better and always giving her compliments where she deserved it. And do you know how much pushback my sister got from her fucking audience simply for just being fair to Amberlynn? Just for being fucking fair. And, you know, that was absolutely the building blocks of what changed my sister's mind about this whole community in the first place and how everybody fucking treats these women, how they champion hate by any means, even if being dishonest to do it. It made her completely look at everything completely differently. Apocalypse Punch said, you used to cover the creep show art stuff. I didn't. My sister did. My sister also, just on a whim, because it was something she was paying attention to. So on a whim, she just covered the creep show art stuff and she made, she was the first person to be like, this bitch is a fucking liar. This bitch Amy doesn't exist. And she just accidentally walked into thousands of live fucking viewers. It was insane. It was so fucking insane. But yeah, that was a short time. I wouldn't say that she covered the creep show art stuff, but she did cover it for like a week. And she got crazy viewership out of nowhere doing it. Sylvail says, that was it? She got banned for that? Well, yeah. Yes, dude, that's why I always think. Creep shart. It's so funny you remember that. I said, oh my God. I remember she said that by accident. Like it came out of her mouth. She said creep shart. And then everybody started calling her fucking creep shart. Even I accidentally called her creep shart because I heard my sister say it. Let me go back to this comment. Sylvail says that was it. She got banned for that. While Yaba and FFG and all the others just go up daily with hate. Yes, because I think it was what I said. I think it was the exact wrong language that could be if somebody was being dishonest and wanted to interpret it as promoting violence. That's the mistake that was made. And it's a crapshoot, yo. It's a crapshoot. Even then, the reporting system is run by bots. It's not human beings. So it's a roll of the fucking dice. And that's why I've always made the statement, and I've always thought it was ridiculous that the people who dare to criticize my sister Peanut and try to act like she was so terrible, they are so much fucking worse. Like, to such an uncomparable fucking degree, they're so much worse. Like, yeah, my sister may have, tree trunkles and fucking behem and said mean stuff, but she was also really fucking uplifting. She believed so much in Amberlynn. She liked her. She thought she was funny. And you know what else too? You know, this is what the most severe judgment came from with my sister in terms of Amberlynn. My sister could not stand how abusive she was to Becky. And that was another thing that she got such bad pushback from the audience. Even people today, they still don't agree that they think Becky was equally as terrible and Becky played a role. My sister was disgusted and disturbed by how she treated Becky. And I think that plays into the time when maybe she wasn't the kindest to Amberlynn, you know? But like you guys always have to assume, unfortunately, when these people make statements of any kind against anybody, you have to always take it with a grain of salt. They're always projecting, they're always being dishonest, at least in some fucking way. Wait, what does this mean? Mandolin Effect says we now know that Becky was pilled out. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like narcotic type pills, or was she? Oh, I think we always knew this. I always knew this. She was on some pretty heavy antidepressant type SSRI, antipsychotic medication. That was clear. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that's always been very clear to both me and my sister. She was another thing too. And I agree with Peanut on this. Peanut always felt like Becky was not all there in terms of mental capabilities, maybe social capabilities. And I agree. And Peanut always felt like Amberlynn took full advantage of that. And another thing is Amberlynn was so obviously not happy with Becky. She was just using her as a placeholder, as a, oh, this person is around and I need somebody to take care of me. So I'm going to put up with Becky, even though it's so clear to both Becky and the rest of the world that if I had to choose her out of a lineup, I would never fucking choose her twice. You know? I think she was so fucking cruel in terms of Becky, especially since we had the visual difference, the visual and emotional difference of how she felt about Destiny and how she felt about Becky. The fucking difference was so night and day. It was so obvious. She was not attracted to Becky. I don't even know if she fucking liked Becky as a human being, dude. She always wanted to embarrass her. She always disrespected her. It was rough to watch. Lynn the Cynicon says Amber has always liked women like that, though. I don't know. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think Destiny was a very different beast. I would not say that Destiny and Becky were anything similar. And if you had to ask me, I would say that Destiny was the love of her life. Destiny was absolutely somebody that Amberlynn would pick out of a lineup 10 times out of 10 every time. She was sexually attracted to her. She was enthralled by her. She found her interesting. And then Becky comes in and she's trying to recuperate from a bad breakup that she's having a hard time trying to get over. So she uses Becky as a placeholder, and it went on for too damn fucking long. And it was really cruel to do to Becky. Exactly, Sylvail. Sylvail says Becky was free labor. Do you know how much it always pissed me off when people would be like, Becky needs to get a job. Becky's just in it for the free ride. What? Like, yo, I'm sorry, but at least a job, when you work a job, it's your money. And you get to leave. You get to go home. You get to clock out at the end of the day. The fucking terrible job of being a caregiver and of somebody who is being abusive to her at the same time, she never got to fucking clock out. Her job was 24 fucking 7. She never got to clock out. And it seemed as though Amberlynn would hold the money above her head like it wasn't both of theirs. Even though Becky was on full fucking display, her family, her life, their relationship, the same as Amber. Just because Amberlynn pushed the fucking button for upload, she felt like Becky had, in my opinion, maybe she didn't deserve half of the earnings, but she definitely deserved a percent. Yes, absolutely. Crystal, I always got the feeling that she was slow to some degree. Becky as well. That's not the kindest words to use, but it is an apt way to describe how I felt about the both of them. Because I don't think I don't think either of them were severe enough for me to call them mentally handicapped. But I think slow is probably, while not kind, probably the best descriptor for them both. Our Lady of Perpetual Poutine said, I feel like Becky's breath smelled like warm milk. Oh, I know that's very weird to say, but that's the vibe. But yo, I immediately understood exactly what you're saying. It's because of her fucking teeth. And it's because of the film and the grime that was always built up on her protruding fucking teeth. I immediately understand what you're talking about. And maybe let's get even more specific. Maybe like a little bit of a curdled fucking baby formula type milk. Like real down and dirty, nasty shit. Yes. Destiny had furry teeth. She definitely did. I mean, that's something also, too. It seems as though all of them struggled with their hygiene to a serious degree. But in comparison to Amberlynn, that's another thing too that could have done it. You guys are reminding me. My sister Peanut also talked about her hygiene quite a bit because it would absolutely piss her off that Amberlynn would pretend to take showers when it was so very clear that she wasn't. And come to find out years down the line after the fact, with how much she vehemently denied it at the time, like my sister calling out her terrible hygiene, she admitted it. She admitted that her hygiene was fucking ghastly and grotesque. And listen, I even respect the fact that she was willing to admit that ever. Because, like, we all fucking knew. It was clear, it was plain to see. There was no questions about it. Just sad, man. Real sad. 2019, the year she didn't shower. Yeah, I mean, my sister would always talk about and theorize about the stench. Can you imagine the fucking stench? Because another thing too, I don't think I've ever shared this with you guys, but my sister had a lot of strong feelings about Amberlynn because my sister, she cared for our maternal grandmother who was severely morbidly obese towards the end of her life. And our grandmother was so large for so long that she hadn't taken a proper shower or a bath in over 10 years. And the stench was fucking ungodly. Like it would hit you and it would smack you in the face just walking through the door. So Peanut always had a lot of strong feelings and she just knew from experience what was going on. And Amberlynn was not happy about all of because here's another thing too. It makes it, because Peanut was so fair and she was not nasty 100% of the time, it made it more difficult for Amberlynn to poo-poo her criticism. It's easier for somebody to cast away criticism if somebody is constantly being dishonest and unfair in your direction. But Peanut was honest, she was fair, and she was compassionate. So I think when she had criticism about things like that were so valid and factual, it pissed Amber off to a point that nobody else could. That's what I think. That's how I perceived it. Hold on a second. I got to take a sip of my Fago. Hold on. I had to pee so bad. Like a fucking racehorse. I think I drank half a 2-liter of fucking Fago. Listen to Your Heart Says, I miss your sister. She was mighty and a real one. Yeah, I miss her too. I always try to convince her to, and I told you, I'm going to eventually get her and hopefully my mother all in the same place so we can all stream together. I think it'll be good. It'll be funny. Listen to Your Heart Says, so Yaba would have that stench too. I mean, anybody would, listen. Bodies smell, okay? When you're sweating, when you have a vagina and you have a butt crack and you have folds aplenty where things, yeast and different bacteria can grow, like, and you're not taking a shower for 10 fucking years or however many, whatever, you're gonna smell. Like, it's just factual fucking reality. It's just a fact. Like, just own up. Change it if you can. Change it when you can. It's so much more than sweat, Mandolin Effect. It's such a cocktail of horrendous fucking human it's a petri dish of yeast and fucking cottage cheese and fucking you don't want to know, okay? You don't want to fucking know. Yo, Eric says rolling in Bath and Body Works in the store. Do you know how much that makes it so much fucking worse too? When somebody tries to cover up an egregious bodily stench with fucking light type fruity frisky fucking Bath and Body Works body spray, it smells even worse. It's such a fucking attack on the senses. And then forevermore, you will associate, because scent memory is some of the strongest. So it corrupts whatever Bath and Body Works scent they've decided to mesh in with their own yeasty fucking goodness. You will forever be tainted on that particular scent. Sour is not even strong enough, yo. It smells like dead, rotting bodies, garbage, fucking vomit, doo-doo, like everything terrible you can imagine, rotting fruit, everything you can imagine all together. There are fucking hints of all of it. But the closest is probably a dead fucking body, man. It smells like decay. Yes, doo-doo, man. Definitely fucking doo-doo. Can you imagine that crevasse? Like, that's a large crevasse. And if you're not getting, because just think about the physics. This is another thing she would talk about too all the time, is the physics of like length of arm ratio to the scope of what you have to reach behind to wipe appropriately. Like, in terms of physics, it just doesn't work out. You can't wipe yourself appropriately. And then on top, you're not fucking showering. And then, do you remember? Like, yo, guys, I could not believe that anybody would ever get in that fucking piddle paddle pool with her at the same time. Do you remember she would go for fucking months without showering? And then she would have the fucking audacity to go piddle around in that pool that they bought outside, and everybody would be fucking festering in her body soup. Like, woo. Sylvail says, that's so wonderfully graphic. I'm cooking. My bad, Sylvail. To be honest, it is things like this. This is what my sister was guilty of. Some people will call this mean, but me and my sister, it's called just speaking fucking facts, And it's not like she was pulling this out of her ass. It's not like she was lying about it. She was genuinely giving advice. She would be horrified by the facts of reality and then give good advice on how to rectify the situation, on how to, take care of yourself properly at that size in terms of hygiene. Because another thing too that my sister was all too familiar with is, do you know how many different, for our grandmother, do you know how many different health ailments began as a result of a poor hygiene issue? I'm talking cracks in the skin that became a humongous, unhealable infection, like yeast infections. What's the other one? Where you get bacteria in your urethra. What can I think of that? Do you guys know what I mean? What is it called? It's not a yeast infection. The other one, urinary tract infection. Like, yo, my grandmother, a urinary tract infection is what almost killed her. At a certain age and at a certain size, these things can take an enormous fucking toll on the body. Yeah, fungal, absolutely. That's another thing too. Fungal, yick. Yes, UTI. I mean it when I say, and this is the advice that she would give to Amber Lynn. She wasn't just saying it to be a dick. She was saying it coming from a place of judgment, yes, and disgust, yes, but also at the same time giving good advice after being so fucking disturbed and horrified. So you know what I mean? It was a complicated situation. And it makes me understand, like, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but Amber Lynn, simply because of association to my sister, Amber Lynn refuses to speak my name. And I understand why. Like, I get it. I get it. It's not easy to take criticism that's so harsh and based in facts and reality from somebody who is treating you fairly. It is much easier to poo-poo away when people like Yaba and even Charlie Gold are being so hypocritical and dishonest. She can just poo-poo it away. Rosalind says, was your grandmother always obese or just later in life? Rosalind, I've seen pictures of her when she was a child and maybe very, very early in her marriage before she had children where she was slimmer, but she wasn't always the enormous size that she became. But for most of my life, especially because I'm the youngest, she for all I can remember in having a relationship with her, she was always severely morbidly obese. And keep in mind, guys, this was in the 80s, 90s when this was not a common thing to see. Like, did you ever see the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape? We lived in a place where it was like kind of a courtyard, and to get up to our apartment, you'd have to walk up like almost a block up a courtyard. And I remember, and I feel terrible about this, but I'm just going to tell you because it's the reality. I remember as a child being so embarrassed every time we called her my nanny. So I'm just going to refer to her as such. I would always be really embarrassed as a child when my nanny would come over to visit because of that walk of shame that she had to do coming in and out of my house. And she was so enormous that she couldn't sit on regular chairs in our home. We had to have a metal chair, special and specifically for her to sit on. Listen to Your Heart says, Pistachio, did you do the Book It Pizza Hut program? Yeah, hell yes. Hell fucking yes. Yo, do you want to know something? Nobody remembers this. I was fucking obsessed with Pizza Hut when I was a child because there was one in our neighborhood and that's where we would go for like events to like celebrate or whatever. My other grandmother would take me there to celebrate certain events. And do you guys remember the triple decaroni pizza that was around for such a short time? When I was a kid, I was a really picky eater and I didn't even like pizza a whole lot because I didn't like tomato sauce. And I'll never forget this promotion that Pizza Hut had. It was called triple decaroni pizza and it had very little sauce on it. And it was so good. It was the only pizza that I enjoyed as a human being. I still remember it to this day. Like, I fucking dream about the triple decaroni pizza. It was fucking amazing. Go and look it up, guys, if you're curious to what it looks like. It was the best pizza they ever had. And this was a time before they even offered stuffed crust, yo. Pizza Hut used to be fancy. Yes. Do you remember their salad bar? Like, yo, their salad bar was the tits. Everybody would get a salad plate. And then we would get like either 1 or 2 pizzas to share for the table, the family. It was the best time. They had some of the best ranch dressing, like restaurant ranch, that I've ever tasted, that I've never been able to replicate ever again. And they always had pineapple and those little noodle shoot things. And oh my God, you know the little potato? They always had this at the salad bar. You know the little potato like shoestring thingies? Oh, it was the best. Oh my God, and the Land Before Time puppets. Yo, I don't remember the Land Before Time puppets, but you know what I do remember? The fucking Beauty and the Beast puppets. It was like a hard plastic and you would just shove your hand into it. Do you remember the Beauty and the Beast ones? I can picture the Belle one right now. It's so funny you said that. They always had those promotions with those hard plastic fucking puppets. I think Land Before Time is a little bit too old for me. I Blame You says, I remember it was like a pizza on top of a pizza. Yes, dude, it was 3 layers. It was 3 layers of pepperoni and very, very thin dough with very little sauce. It was so fucking fantastic. I wish they would re-release it just for nostalgia's sake. Probably so bad for you though. Like one slice, I would imagine, is probably like near 1,000 calories. How could you hate Beauty and the Beast, man? That's insanity. How dare you? Dude, I miss the old days too, listen to your heart. Do you know, sometimes, like, tell me not, the world felt different. Existing, living felt different. It felt like a different world. And do you know sometimes if I listen to certain music from the 90s, I get a feeling and I get so emotional and I get a really uncomfortable feeling. It makes me so uncomfortable because it takes me back to an emotional place that is so far from where I am now and not in a good way. Like the world was, and I think this is just probably, this is part of getting older, but the world was just so simple. The world was so fucking simple back then. I think also social media plays a part in it as well. Like aside from just getting older and the regular rhythms of life, but the surge in the surge of internet and shit like that, it changed the vibe of life. It changed the vibe of society. It really did. Do you guys feel like you don't connect the same as you used to before? Even phone, like the way I feel like we used to connect as human beings so differently before phones being in your hand were so prevalent. It was just such a different fucking world. That Amber Chick says, you know what song I just blurted out singing yesterday? My son was shocked. Give me that donkey butt and then big old legs. I ain't too proud to beg. Oh, I love it. I had to listen to it for old time's sake. Yo, I have that all the time. I will just all of a sudden remember an old song. I post it on Twitter all the time. And I don't like it. Sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable to like be put back into that emotional place. I do it anyway though. I'm a glutton for punishment. But without the internet, I wouldn't know Cobes. But Barnacles, do you know what I mean? I'm talking about chilling with your friends. I'm talking about human connection. I think for the most part, the internet has been beneficial overall. But I just mean connecting with friends, the way you acquire friends, the way you connect with other human beings. I feel like the internet has changed things and not in a positive way. Quality of everything is cheap. Absolutely. That's such a. It seems like people don't realize that or don't care. Do you remember back in the day? You'd buy an electronic and it would last for literally 2 fucking lifetimes. 2 entire fucking lifetimes. Now you have to replace your electronics sometimes fucking monthly, dude. I don't know about you guys, but my fucking like my iPhone wire, the one that I use to charge my phone, do you know I have to replace it every fucking month without fail? Without fucking fail. Meanwhile, old, like, you know what you used to charge your Nokia with? That shit is still fucking working. 2 decades later. And that battery would last for a week. Everything was better. Seeming. Barnacle says, you're absolutely right. All people talk about is internet shit a lot of the time now. Yes. And you know what? Barnacles too. I can't stomach the way people are so influenced by internet culture. It makes me so sick to see if I catch a person in real life fucking interneting, like there's nothing that makes me more uncomfortable. Thank God it seems to be the younger generations. I don't see it much in terms of like millennials or older, but anything below that. Caitlin said, I miss Jenkos and Heelys. Yeah, that was definitely my era too. All the cool kids, all the hot boys had fucking huge Jenkos and were fucking grinding on the fucking steps of the school. And they were, yo, do you remember how expensive Jenkos were too? Like 4 jeans at that time, they were so fucking expensive. I'll never forget, like, because I was not rich by any means growing up, but I'll never forget the one pair of girl Jenkos that I had. I'll never forget, I was so grateful that my grandmother purchased them for me because they were $100. Like, I remember at the time being so young and it being in the 90s, like $100 was a lot of money, especially for children's jeans. Like, me, oh my. Barnacle says, I wanted Heelys so bad. So did I, but I am not the athletic type. I wanted them too, but I knew myself better to know that I would definitely bust my fucking ass. So I didn't even ask for them. Doris Hay says, Jenkos are like 3 jeans sewn together. Cost checks out. The ones that I got, though, like for women, they weren't huge. Like, they didn't have the big parachute fucking leggies. They were kind of like bell bottoms, and they had like a really sick design down the side, but they were Jenko brand. So the $100, it wasn't for extra jeanage. Not with the pair that I bought, at least. They were like tight kind of jean type bell bottoms with like an ill fucking squiggly blue and white line up the leg. Barnacle says, I still buy bell bottoms. They're so rare though. Yo, Barnacle, they are the most flattering. I don't know about you, but bell bottoms make my ass and my legs and just my overall body look the best. Like, let me tell you my ideal cut for clothing. My ideal clothing is a bell bottom type pants, preferably black, and a t-shirt that I've cut the neck and the shoulders, like I've cut the neck so my shoulders hang out, and I cut the neck and the arms. So it's kind of like off the shoulder. That is my ideal cut of every type of clothing. That's what looks best on my body all together. Love it. That's how I would dress every day if I allowed myself to. A 3X shirt. I mean, yo, you know what's so fucked up, Kate Winslet? 3X, like oversized t-shirts are comfortable. But if you buy a t-shirt specifically, or any shirt, a tank top too, if you buy a shirt that's too big, it can make you look fatter than you are. It can be so fucking unflattering. Like, at this point, I think I would prefer a shirt that's too small rather than one that's too large. I'm talking for going out. If we're talking for going to bed, then give me a large shirt all day. But in terms of, like, because you know what I don't think I talked to you guys about this. I recently purchased an old school Nirvana t-shirt from Old Navy, and I saw for the first time in my life, they had long as an option. I've never seen this. I'm a tall bitch. So I was like, oh, cool. Let me try this out. So I purchased the long style. And when I tell you, this t-shirt is so fucking unflattering because it fits me like a motherfucking dress. It is so unflattering that the only option I have is to either cut it, like from the waist, or to wear it as a fucking nightgown only. It's so fucked up. I'm so pissed I selected that. I don't know what made me fucking do that, but it was a mistake. Yeah, dude, I've got to say, you're 5 feet tall. I'm almost 6 foot. Never select long style. Because if that shit is long on my big ass, that shit would probably be hitting the ground like a fucking ball gown for you. I don't even know why they make shit like that. Pistachio's walking around with a Nirvana kimono. Dude, not even a kimono, because a kimono you have to wrap around yourself. It is a literal fucking dress. It is a fucking dress. A long dress, too. Like church appropriate knee length dress. Not even a short one. I could wear that shit to church and still be, good with the Lord. It was such a mistake. Dude, oh my God, butterfly clips. That was my go-to, Eric. Dude, I would do the messy bun, and then I would orchestrate my hair to make it like, yo, I swear to God, it's so cringe. But the way that I would use butterfly clips in my bun, I was legitimately going to school every day with fucking prom hair. I would legitimately do prom hair every day because of the way that I would piece my messy bun with it, I had a fucking prom updo every day. And you know what else was my favorite in the 90s? You know what I would do? I would take the two front of my hair. Like I had long hair always, really long hair. I would take the two front pieces and I would put them out in front and then do a really high, tight ponytail. So it was almost, do you know what I'm talking about? I hope you can picture what I mean. It was like almost really, really long bangs, but it was the same length as the rest of my hair. Oh, most of them were always sparkly. I remember I would always buy them. They were like $5 for $1 at the local drugstore. And because of my prom updo every day, I would lose them a lot and I would need at least like 20 per day for my fucking prom updo. Rio, do not. I'm telling you, I know you think you're tall, Rio, but I think you and I are very similar in stature. Never make the mistake of purchasing the longs from Old Navy. It will also fit you like a church-going fucking dress. Unless that's what you're after. Then be my guest. Rio, I thought I was making the right decision for the same fucking reason. What is tall to you, ladies? For me, I have definitely, because of my spine, I have shrunk. I used to be in the ballpark of like 5'10", but now I'm closer to like 5'9". Rio is taller than me. I think she's like 6 foot. So for a woman, I'm considered tall as well. Oh, you're 6. I always forget, Rio. Okay, you're like super duper tall. Rio's 6'4". So she's like legit tall. Because even me at 5'10", I'm considered tall for a woman. Like growing up, I was always taller than the boys. I was usually the tallest woman or girl in my class. 5'7" is average. I think 5'7" is considered average tank girl. But also can be perceived on the tall side for a woman. Yeah, Rio is... I always forget, Rio. I always forget you're that tall. You know what's fucked up? People don't understand, because I know even me at my height, it's not easy or comfortable to be in the world and to be this stature. So, Rio, I can't even imagine what it's like for you being that many inches taller than myself. Like, everything is a plague. Everywhere, every seat you sit in terms of your knees, in terms of the leg space that you're given, everything is a fucking plague. Like, yo, have you been to the fucking to the movie theater lately? Unless you're going to one of those high class movie theaters where they have like the reclining comfy seats, it is absolute hellacious torture for a tall girl to sit in a regular like community shitty movie theater. I'd rather be literally shot in the face. Rio says, give me all your long shirts. My dream is to one day have sleeveless longer than 3/4 length. Wait, dude. So listen, Rio, then you need to shop at Old Navy. Go and take a look at Old Navy. I know they have sales right now. Go take a look, because even the tank top that I bought myself, because I bought myself a long tank top as well, I think you'll love it. I think it'll be perfect for you. And it's relatively cheap. Like, yo, the Nirvana t-shirt that I bought was only $10. Go take a look. I bet you'll fucking love it. I hate it. And it was a waste of money and time and excitement for me. But I think you'll love it. All right, I'm going to go though, guys, because I've had to pee so bad for so long because of this fucking Faygo that I'm drinking. All right, but we shall... What's tomorrow? Saturday. We're going to reconvene tomorrow. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I've missed a lot. There's a lot that I wanted to talk about in this stream, but we went off on several tangents. So we'll reconvene tomorrow, probably in the afternoon. And everyone have a good night. Love you guys. Bye.